Hey guys, it's your girl Londyn, and today I'm going to be bringing you yet another project panning video. This I think is going to be the last project pan that I'm going to engage in, because in total it makes 4 and there's 4 weeks in a month for updates. So I think that this is the final closing out project pan that I'm going to be engaging in. So this one is going to be a video on the 10 uses project pan. So if you want to see the items that I chose to kick off this 10 use project pan, then keep watching because we're going to get right into it. Okay guys, so we are here with another project pan and with some extreme allergies today. I woke up literally with my eyes looking like I either had a cat or I had pink eye. So I'm hoping that they're looking a little clearer now. They feel like they're burning just a little bit, but the wind is blowing and I really feel like my allergies are just misbehaving and trying to play me out. So I watched this morning when I woke up, I watched Chic Geek. If you don't know her, I will link her channel down below. I was watching her video. She does a ton of project panning videos, like a ton. Like that girl, she must participate in like literally 10 to 20 project pans a year. I mean, she is on the project pan train and she is really good at it. So I saw her and she was announcing that she was going to be participating in the 10 uses project pan. And so I said, you know what? I think that this might be good for me to also be a part of, because last year, for a short period of time, I had tried to do the shop my stash. I wasn't really good at that. I wasn't good at kind of trying to pick these items that I had to stick with for a certain amount of time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It just, something in me just needed to, if I picked one product, then I purposely needed to pick another product. I don't know, it was weird. So although the Project 10 Uses is very similar to a Shop My Stash in the sense that you have a set of products that you have chosen. For me, I have 10, and you're going to keep utilizing them until you hit 10 uses on them. You then get to change the product out. So in theory, if it took you, I don't know, 6 months to hit 10 uses on something, then yes, that would have been 6 months with one product. But I think for most people, you're probably going to be rotating products out every, at least, I would say 30 to 60 days. You're likely going to be rotating products out, if even on that frequency, maybe even quicker, depending upon how frequently you actually wear makeup or use skincare or things kind of like that. So I thought this was a little better of an idea than doing the shop my stash, and this was something I could stick to a little better because I can do the updates once a month, and I can swap the products out once I hit the 10 use mark. So with that being said, the 10 uses is not that you swirled your brush in it 10 times and used it. Essentially, it is 10 times that you wore the product. So if it was a blush, I would have worn the blush 10 times, not I swirled my brush in the blush 10 times. So I just wanted to kind of really make that clear. So let's go ahead and let's get into the 10 products that I chose for the 10 uses project pan. So the first thing I have is a blush, and that is from Nomad Cosmetics. So I got this probably, honestly, so long ago from BoxyCharm. I think it was last year. It might have been like the beginning of last year. This is in Desert Rose, and this is just a beautiful, beautiful color. This is a very kind of almost peachy coral blush, and it is very pigmented. It is beautiful. It is smooth. It goes on very nicely. And the fact of the matter is I just don't get enough use out of it for how good of a blush that it is. And so I want to show my blushes, especially, some more love. I'm going through and I am kind of cataloging every piece of makeup and skincare that I have in my entire beauty room. And I'm realizing the amount of products I have in the same categories. Like, I didn't realize how much blush I had. I didn't realize how many highlighters I have. Like, some that I have never even touched. Like, never, period, end of story. And it's just unacceptable. So, the point of this project is not to hit pan on these items necessarily, unless in 10 uses you can. It's more so to get use out of your products, because you're constantly rotating them in and out, versus taking this and sticking with it, and then the other 42 blushes you have never get any use. And oh, and by the way, you also purchased another 15 blushes this year, because you also like them. So I think it's a good way to get usage out of your products. I also think it's a good way to sit with your products for 10 uses and really see, do you like that product as much as you thought? Or maybe after 10 uses you find you like it, but you're honestly tired of it and you're ready to declutter it. Like you don't want to use it anymore, or it looks very similar to something you have used previously, and so you don't need both of them. So this is the first thing. This is the Note Desert Rose Blush, and I'm very excited to have this in my project. The next is a brand that I always say I don't check for, but then I have all these products, so it's like, are you really checking for them? But it's because I get them in BoxyCharm. So this is from Ciate, London. This packaging is gorgeous and blinding. It is gold, of course, and this is the Confetti highlighter. Now, it very much so has a bronzer almost look, because if you can see within it, it has some dark beads, some light beads, some medium beads, and then kind of some golden beads, and it is very beautiful. I utilized it today and I really like it. Let me kind of give you guys a good little swatch to that. So it is really nice, the coloring on it. It's almost like a pinky goldy bronze, so I really do like it. The problem with it again though is that I get no use out of it. Like today was the first day I've used it, and I literally think that this came into my collection, ooh, at least a year ago. I would say at least a year ago. And today was the first day that I had ever used it. Like I said, I have it on today. I really do like it. I like that you can go heavy, you can go light with it. It is both blinding but can also be subdued. So again, I need to start using these products because I found that I really do like it. It's not just beautiful on the outside. It's not just beautiful on the inside. It's really pretty on. It's not shimmery. It's not glittery. It doesn't kind of enhance texture. So why not use it? So that was a product that is also going to be in this project. The next one is from N07. Now, some of you guys may remember this from, I think it was a video I did 2 years ago. Oh my God, maybe even 3 years ago. I know, so don't judge me on the time frame. It smells fine. When I put my fingers in it, nothing weird happens. But this is supposed to be a bronzer. So this is caramel. This is not a bronzer on me. This is a shade color for me. So this is not something that is going to be able to bronze my skin. I think that that's what happened. I got it. It said bronzer. And at the time that I got it, I was very new to kind of makeup and things. And so a bronzer to me was a bronzer. You had to apply it a certain way. It went a certain place and you kind of didn't deviate from kind of makeup rules too much, or what kind of makeup beauty YouTubers were telling you too much. The thing is though, I can use it wherever I feel like using it because it's mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using this as kind of a setting powder, a finishing powder, if you will, a touch-up powder, versus using it as a bronzer, and see if I can't get some use out of it that way. Like I said, it is too light to be a bronzer for me, but it does look like it would be the perfect kind of skin color to kind of put over my foundations and things like that. So I'm going to give that a go, and I'm going to see if I can get some use out of that. And if I find that it's also not working as a finishing powder, then I'll go ahead and I will take it off my collection, because there's no need to be in my collection if in fact it can't be used as a bronzer and it can't be used as a finishing powder. The next thing we have is from, I think that they're called Aether Beauty. And this is a gorgeous Joshua Tree eyeshadow palette. And I literally picked it up because I'm from the Joshua Tree area. So I was very nostalgic about it, and I was excited to see something have the name of a place that I knew, that I grew up in. So I was just very, very, very happy about it. And this is a clean brand. Many people enjoy this brand, and they're very ethical with their packaging, with their mission statement. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of join in on that. This is the color palette. This is beautiful. This absolutely speaks Joshua Tree, speaks the high desert, the Morongo Basin. This very much so has a desert feel to me in a very kind of authentic way, like somebody who actually has been there and didn't just choose colors they thought were deserty. This to me very much so reflects the desert that I grew up in, and so I'm very excited to put this to use. I have used this twice before, but I purchased this like 6 months ago. So that is just not enough usage that I'm getting out of this. These are all mattes, I believe. Yes, they're all mattes. So I want to kind of give them some time to perform and kind of see what I truly think about it by giving it 10 uses of wear. So I'm very excited about that one. I think that I may be able to create some pretty cool looks from that one. The next one is also an eyeshadow palette. This is from Maybelline, and this is the Soda Pop palette. So if you guys remember, this and the Lemonade palette were all the craze probably 2 years ago. Again, you see? Yeah. And I actually really like this. I thought that this was great quality, especially, and I hate to say it, for being drugstore. I like to just say things are either good quality or bad quality, regardless if they're luxury, if they're high end, or if they're drugstore. But this actually was fantastic quality, just as is, but really fantastic quality for being drugstore. I really love this color story. Thought it was very nice how they laid it out, because typically I don't like the longer and shorter, like rectangle squares and shapes being mixed together. I thought this was really, really nice. I really did like it, but again, when you have almost 400 palettes, things fall by the wayside, and I don't typically buy a lot of drugstore palettes, but this is one I purchased and I really did enjoy, so I want to get some more usage out of it. I really love purples, especially on me for eyeshadows, so I want to give this some love, give that some 10 uses too. You will notice that this has half of kind of the project is eyeshadows. The reason for that is I'm not somebody who can commit to a project that is solely for eyeshadows. I can't commit to a pan that shadow. I can't commit to a pan that palette. I can't commit to any of that. Why? I want to use too many things because I have too many palettes. So I'm constantly wanting to change what it is that I'm using from day to day, week to week. So I can't fully commit to something like that. Also, I have realized about myself when I watch other people's videos, powders, liquids, I love to see those things be panned. So face powders, highlighters, bronzers, foundations, I love to see those things be panned. Eyeshadows, I don't. I like to use my eyeshadows. I want to get more usage out of them, but actually seeing that hole, not just the tiny hole, but that big hole where it just like leaves the rim of shadow that you really can't get to, and you have to basically make it a Franken shadow and repress it. I don't like to see that. Like, it is aesthetically unappealing to my eyes, and it makes me feel very sad for these inanimate objects of my eyeshadows. And so I've realized that as much as I want to get usage out of my eyeshadows, it's very different than wanting to pan my eyeshadows. I don't want to pan my eyeshadows. I like them. I want these colors to last as long as they can because I enjoy them. That's why they're in my collection, but I do want to get usage from them, which is why I'm doing this project versus a kind of traditional project pan for eyeshadows, because I'm not looking to just try to make nail polish out of it and use it as liner, and just any way I can use the color up just to get it gone so I can have that satisfaction of seeing a either completely clear pan or a very big panning spot, because for me that doesn't give me satisfaction. It actually gives me a lot of sadness and anxiety and makes me then look at the palette like, well, I don't want to use the rest of the palette. It looks destroyed now. So I realized that about myself, and I realized that definitions of words are important, that I want to get more usage out of my eyeshadows. I don't want to pan my eyeshadows. Now, if panning comes through heavy usage, then that's fine, because to me that's authentic. I'm not kind of, this is my goal, as I'm going to use you in any way possible to get you gone, because then to me that doesn't necessarily really feel like a lot of love either to the shadows. So I have a palette in here we may remember. This is the Becca and Jaclyn Hill, and this was the Champagne Pop Collection eyeshadow palette. Now, many of these were recalled, and you could get your money back for them, because people had some real problems with them, that they were not performing well, it wasn't pigmented, they weren't blending. There was just a lot of issues with kind of this launch of Champagne Pop altogether. There were some hiccups, but especially with this eyeshadow palette, I believe the people that could get these, it was because you got them right when they were in the store, I believe in Sephora, because I believe they pulled them so quick that they weren't even like necessarily out on the floor for you to pick them up. I got this probably a year. A year seems to be kind of what we're going for here. I got this from somebody who no longer wanted it, and I had never had it, but I really was just looking to kind of, that collector in me, I wanted to kind of complete my Champagne Pop collection and the packaging, and then I used the shadows, and I actually really enjoyed them. So the person like literally had like not even used them. So this is what it looks like inside, very neutral. If you remember, Becca really was the one who came out with this size palette, where it was kind of monochromatic, the deeper browns, the lighter browns, where you could just use the whole thing and make like a monochromatic look. So this kind of played on that, and it has a shimmer in it, and I have used this twice, and they worked fine for me. I was able to make a very neutral kind of, no fuss, no muss look. But I actually did like it. So I don't know what that says about me, but I want to get 10 uses out of this just because that might be the only time that I actually utilize it in such a way, because really I just bought it for collector's purposes. But I actually did like the eyeshadow look that I came out with when I did use it, so I want to give that a little bit more love. The next thing that is here is the Ace Beaute, and this is the Bronzed in Paradise Bronzing Palette. Now, this recently came into my collection, which you guys may or may not have seen the video yet, but this is a 4-pan bronzer that you have here. Now, literally, 2 red. This is more of kind of maybe like a face powder, 2 light, maybe eyebrow highlight. So the one I use is this one right here, and I have that on today, and I have been using that now. Most of you know that the Kosas bronzer, that is my go-to bronzer. So I was kind of like, when I got this in my BoxyCharm, was really just immediately going to go ahead and just give it away. But then I just tried this, especially because this is also a matte bronzer. It's not a shimmer, and typically I go for shimmer, but I put it on and I really liked it. So I am going to continue to use this, and I want to get some more use out of it, and see how much I continue to love it. Especially because the other shades really for me aren't workable as far as bronzers, but I really feel like this still could be almost an eyeshadow palette. So you could use this palette in other ways if in fact I wanted to continue to use some of the other shadows in it. But for right now, I am just using this bronzer color because I want to see what I feel about it when I am utilizing it a bit more, considering it literally just came into my collection. The next thing we have is from Charlotte Tilbury, dear. So this is the Pillow Talk Instant Eye Palette, and I got this over the holidays. And if you guys watched my video about my new palettes that came into my collection in December, you would have seen this one. And this is just gorgeous. This is like right up my alley. This is very much so along the lines of her Pillow Talk collection. Very pink, very kind of champagne-y, very kind of nude, very kind of simplistic, but you can accelerate the looks a little bit. And so because it's new, I wanted to put it in this project to get some use out of it. I have used this 3 times, and each time I've gotten an effortlessly beautiful look that I thought, although it was simple, I thought it was a bit elevated, because you can elevate the look with kind of the shimmers and how you apply them. These blend beautifully and super easy. So I don't want to have a ton of new products that I don't get to, and then they become, like some of my other products, they become very old, because in December I did have 33 palettes that came into my collection. So want to get on it. So this is going to be in the project, and I'm hoping to get a lot of looks. And I like that too. That kind of challenges you to take the shadows and create more than just kind of the immediate look that you see. If you're going to get 10 uses, you're either going to keep having the 10 same looks, or you're going to have to change it up. You're going to have to integrate the palettes together, which is not something I do. I typically stick with one palette, regardless if it's all shimmers. I don't like to interchange palettes, so that also takes me out of my comfort zone to have to incorporate palettes with each other and see what kind of looks I can get when their powers combine. So the next eyeshadow palette, and the last eyeshadow palette we have, is from Nomad Cosmetics, and this of course was also my December video, and this is the Marrakesh palette. So this is absolutely gorgeous, and again, if you guys don't know, Nomad, they base their color stories off of places. So this is just absolutely gorgeous, and I chose this one because Nomad was a brand that I wanted to use this year, and so I had pretty much bought every palette almost that they had and that I was interested in December. But this had a variation of colors. So you have your blues, you kind of have your burnt reds, your burgundies, you have some yellows, you have some browns. You really have a lot to play with here. And I feel like that was just a lot of opportunity to create a lot of beautiful looks in a palette. Because again, if I pulled this out on any given Sunday, what would happen is I would take it, I would make a look, maybe I'd make another look another day, but I would never kind of push myself to go outside my box and create anything except for the looks that I immediately see. So there's just too many pretty colors in this palette to not kind of go outside of the box and to create some less than kind of, yeah, that seems very obvious type of looks. So the last product we have is the Gucci foundation. I know you guys have not seen this either, but it is coming. So you guys are getting like a little sneak peek of some videos that are happening in February. This is the Gucci foundation, and this is the Fluid de Beaute. Okay, foundation, and this is a natural finish. This is in 340N. Guys, look, I was not going to buy this foundation because this is expensive, like Pat McGrath level. I think this is 68 bucks. This is a gorgeous packaging, very, I know, Fenty-esque, nice glass, heavy weighted, beautiful golden pump. But like I said, I was not going to purchase this because your girl was not going to give another 70 bucks to a foundation. I have like 60 foundations and I wasn't going to do it. And I was like, and then the shade ranges, I was like, look, it's difficult for me to find shade ranges, not because I don't have a good range, but it's like, look, I don't check for Gucci because Gucci's expensive makeup. I don't have anything else from Gucci for a reason. So I was a little skeptical, but I took a chance. I watched some videos of some people who had similar complexions to mine and then kind of looked to see, should I go a shade up, a shade down? Where did it look like I was kind of going to land? I landed on 340N. And let me tell you, that's what I have on today. That is what I have been wearing. This has been causing problems for some of my other projects because I have the Pat McGrath foundation in my Partners in Cream. And this one has been causing problems because what I am now reaching for is this one, because this is actually, even outside of Fenty, this is the first foundation that matches me absolutely perfect. That when I put this foundation on, it is a perfect match, at least clearly for right now. In the summertime, I'll warm up, but perfect match, perfect undertone, gorgeous just finish to it. It's just absolutely a beautiful, beautiful foundation. And I was really upset that I liked it so much because I don't want to be repurchasing Gucci foundations. You know what I mean? So now nothing else is living up to the Gucci foundation now that I have the Gucci foundation. So between Gucci and Charlotte Tilbury and some other things that I have beginning, I'm just like, I need to stop watching people who purchase luxury products because I'm not trying to be her. I need to stick to kind of high-end and medium-end products. Luxury needs to be, that doesn't need to be for me. I don't need to be in that realm. But here I am. I feel myself going there. So I need to kind of pull myself back because I'm realizing that you don't always quote unquote get what you pay for, but there are certain times where you definitely can tell a distinct difference between things. And it's like, okay, yeah, I can get that now. So I am very excited about that Gucci foundation. Let me tell you, when I put it on, you don't have to put so much on. It's just beautiful. It's gorgeous. I love it. Very, very excited about that. So guys, those are my 10 products for my 10 uses project pan. So I'm excited because I'm excited to roll products out and pick some new ones that come in. I'm looking to see what products I get tired of before 10, because 10 seems like easy peasy lemon squeezies. But imagine having to eat peanut butter and jelly for 10 days, or at least 10 times before you could eat anything else. Probably by the fifth time, you're like, okay, I'm over it. And now you're just stuffing down the other 5 times because you want something else. So I want to see how many things keep me really energized. I'm like, oh, it's time for me to switch you out because it's 10 times already, but I really love them and can't wait to revisit them. And what things I'm kind of like, whoo, girl, I'm over you. You need to go ahead and be put back. I don't want to pull you up for a while. And what things I realize I did not care for after I used them for a long period of time. And what things I realized, no, this is like ride or die. This is kind of core collection. If you're going to curate something, this has to be in it. Because at some point, I do want to get to a stage where even though I do YouTube part-time, I want to have a curated collection where even the things I'm purchasing aren't simply because, oh, Rare Beauty did a new launch and so you have to get it so you can be like the first person or one of the first people. And, because after 3 days, nobody's thinking about it anymore. We're all goldfish and we focus on something else. I don't want to choose items that I'm purchasing based off of that. I want to choose items that I think that I'll enjoy, and therefore I'll make videos on them and hope that somebody else out there will enjoy them too, but not be purchasing products for the sole purpose of this is a new launch and therefore I need to get it for the sole purpose of review, but I'm not really into it. So if it's a new launch and I'm into it, great, Gucci, then I'll review it. But I don't want to be buying things for the sole purpose that it is just a new launch and therefore I want to get it in order to solely review it and then I'm just going to declutter it, because to me that's a waste of money. That's not environmentally friendly, and I think that creates a rat race for being in the YouTube game, when the fact of the matter is that I like to make content that I like to watch. I like to hope that then there's just other people out there that like to watch it with me. And if I grow, I grow. If I don't, I don't. If the people who are with me are the only people who ever stay with me, that's okay. I just do this because I enjoy it. Um, and I enjoy connecting with other people who enjoy the same things that I do, because I know my husband does not want to hear about makeup. He cannot tell a difference between any of this stuff, and he is very much so tired of me hearing talking about launches, and he doesn't understand. So I like the sense of community here on YouTube, even though sometimes there's a little bit of drama. So for me, I'm really trying to curate a collection in which, even if I'm utilizing the same products, at least it creates an authenticity with myself and with you guys that, wow, she uses the same primer all the time. She never tries any new ones. Like, yeah, because I don't think there's anything out there that I found that is better than this one. This is my ride or die. Versus seeing me try 70 new primers during the year. And it's like, okay, we said this one was so great. This one was so great. That one was so great. But then we never saw you use it again. It's like, well, new things came out and I had to try them. But then it's like, okay, well, I bought that off your recommendation. Was it really something you thought was great, or just something you thought was great at the time? But what do you really use on a daily basis out when you're not filming videos? That's what I want to know, because that's the product I want to buy. But what we end up seeing is just the latest and greatest new products. We never, or we usually don't get to see behind the scenes of, when you're not filming, what makeup are you grabbing for? Because that's the makeup I want to know. Because if you're using the 2-3 year old Too Faced Peach palette, because that is the palette that you love so much, I want to know that. You might not be doing videos with it anymore because you say, well, that won't get views and I have 1 million subscribers because it's too old. I want to know that though, because then I'm like, okay, great. I have that palette and so it is good quality, or I want to get that palette because a person that I enjoy watching, that is one of their ride or dies. You usually won't know that because it's just kind of, we're very quickly revolving around the latest and greatest products. So off that soapbox, guys. So anywho, if you enjoyed this video, give me 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up, not 1 but 2. If you have any of these products, let me know how you enjoy them. If you want to try any of these products, let me know why. If you want me to do reviews on the products as I get to my 10 uses, let me know, because then maybe I might be able to kind of structure something where I either do individual use reviews, or I do kind of like quick 5 or quick 3 reviews where I take, if I have 3 products that I already reached 10 uses on, maybe I put them together in a video and I just do kind of a quick review on them so that you guys can, one, know I got to the 10 uses, and then kind of hear my overall thoughts on them, how they worked, cost, things kind of like that. Let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing videos on that as I get to my 10 uses on these products. So thank you guys so much for spending your time with me. I greatly appreciate it. I love you guys always. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified of all my new videos. If you haven't already, head on over to Instagram and hit subscribe over there at Londyn Brielle so you can see what I do when I'm not here on the YouTube. So guys, I love you. I miss you. And until next time, I will see you on the flip side. I love you guys. Bye.